Well, I've got to stop. I just saw the doors open on my Teardrop. I have come up on this camper, taking this gentleman completely by surprise.
My name's Eric. I'm the chapter director of the Southern Appalachian chapter of the Tearjerkers.
And we took it to Colorado and everything and had no trouble pulling it with it. I mean, you're not going to fly up mountains, but...
For all you that gave me a hard time over not having a mask at the last meetup, if I get close enough, cut me some slack. So we had to make a quick stop at Cracker Barrel to use the bathroom and get some old-fashioned candy. Well, I've got to stop. I just saw the doors open on my Teardrop. Well, I locked it back. Well, it was open. When I got back there, it was all the way open where it stopped. I don't think anything fell out, but I don't know why it was open.
Did somebody open it while we were at Cracker Barrel?
Maybe. I wonder if somebody opened it, looked in there, because I didn't have it locked. That may be what happened.
Surely to goodness somebody didn't do that.
I don't know.
But it
So we are at the Oconee State Park in northwestern South Carolina to a Tearjerkers meetup from the Southern Appalachian chapter. Heading to a little bit of a meet and greet here on Friday night. Got a little bit of coolness in the air. Should be a good time. We've already had a couple people come over to say hey, so yeah, look forward to seeing everybody. Good morning, everyone. Day number 2 for me and my wife here at the Tearjerkers meetup at the Oconee State Park in South Carolina. Yesterday, Friday, had a wonderful time. Did a little bit of a meet and greet down by the lake. Saw one or two faces we're familiar with and a lot of new folks. Just good people, tiny camper enthusiasts, had a lot to talk about. But today, after we get done brewing our coffee here, we're going to do a group tour of the campers that showed up. That's something that the Southern Appalachian chapter likes to do. The group will walk around as a whole to all the campers, and the owner will give a tour and show everybody. Really looking forward to that. Hey, we want to take just a moment and show what we've done in honor of all of the craziness in 2020. Made up a t-shirt using the Camp Easy Setting in the Woods. I am now the social distancing state champion. Just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. It's seriously been a crazy year. If this is something you'd like to pick up for yourself, I'll put a link in the description below where you can find one. But anyway, let's get back to camping. So I have ran into a really special guy. Tell me who you are.
My name's Eric. I'm the chapter director of the Southern Appalachian chapter of the Tearjerkers.
So this guy knows all about teardrop camping, and actually behind us is the teardrop he built. We'll show you that in a little while. But Eric, tell us what we're getting ready to do.
Well, at 10:30 this morning, which I think is like right around the corner, we're going to do a tier tour where the whole group as one group goes around to all the tiers and campers, tents, whatever you got, and we're going to check out everybody's camper while they're there, so we can see it while the person who owns it is there and can talk about their camper. And then we're going to do a cornhole tournament. After that, we got some arts and crafts with Joan over there.
Okay.
And then, of course, our potluck dinner at 6 o'clock. And pictures.
So it's not, I mean, everybody, probably watching the video wants to see the campers, but if you own a Teardrop, you'll know from going to an event like this, it's not as much about the camper as is the people
That's right.
that are here. It's really,
This group
fellowship.
is mostly socializing. That's what we really are, as a social group.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Eric, thank you very much.
You got it. This is my camper. I built it in 2009, finished it in 2010. It's called Blondie because it's kind of like a blondish color of wood. It has a TV set inside.
And a bed.
Air conditioning. Does have a bed that's not very well made up this morning, but over in the front here we have a granite countertop, which is kind of unusual for being out in the woods. Used to have hot and cold running water, but the water heater busted a hole in it when I went winter camping and decided to try to use water anyway. Not a good idea. Pendant lights used to be glass, but I got tired of replacing the glass all the time, so now they're metal. And that's really about it. It weighs about 1,200 pounds. Any questions?
This is Scott and Tatiana's camper. It's a 1971 Shasta low flight. We've been hanging out with the Tearjerkers for 3 years now. Have a good time. We invite anybody to entertain their company. They're nice people. This right here, I got this, picked it up. It had good bones. I restored it, I guess, 10 years ago. It's about time for it to go back in the garage. I've got to pull all this stuff off again and redo it. But we have fun with it.
It's an off-road tab, so the wheels are bigger and it's higher off the ground. And if anybody wants to go look in it, they're welcome to. I lived in it full time for 10 months, going just from state park to state park. And we took it to Colorado and everything and had no trouble pulling it with the kids. Really? I mean, you're not going to fly up mountains, but yeah. My next goal is to do BLM lands and boondock. This is solar ready, so all I have to do is get a suitcase.
So I bought this 2019 in December. I had been pulling things across the country for 6 years, following George and Lynn. Didn't really like towing things, didn't like backing things up. So I got this, and I did this myself. I got an IKEA bed. It's a junior twin. I had a carpenter put in a couple of boxes for shoes and pantry items. I use a cooler that'll keep stuff cold 5 days. And I use an induction stove, and I have a small microwave. And I went 5 weeks to Florida. I went from Edisto Beach, 27 degrees, to the Everglades at 95. I don't need anything but what's in there. It will take me to any place I want to go. Thought about getting an awning. I like to leave every afternoon, so this is the fastest way for me to leave, is just to pull this down and push it to the side. You know what? I bought an air conditioner. I bought a Climate Right, $550 to go to Oregon one summer. I drug it all the way across country and back, kept it for like another 3 years, went to South Carolina in July and didn't use it. I never used it.
You're in the sweater all the time, yes.
I'm cold. I am cold. At night I get cold. So the fans are good enough. George is the one. He said, sell that thing.
It's got a full shutter.
This is a homemade Ben Roy style woody teardrop. I started the build in August or September of 2013 and finished it in August of 2014. And it's birch plywood on the side. It's got Baltic birch headliners and a aluminum skin for the roof and hatch.
But it's yours.
All right, so this is my Camp Easy. I'd never heard of a teardrop camper, and a buddy of mine told me about them, and I was just curious looking them up, and I thought, well, let me just try to build one. So I started building it. Now I've got 100 watts of solar on top that I route the wiring through the vent fan. That way I didn't have to make any extra holes in the roof. And then I've got all my power distribution in the tongue box. I'm just using a waste oil container for my gray water to be able to dump that out. The green faucet, I actually just went to eBay and I typed in green faucet and that popped up for $5. So that's where I got the faucet.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, and my mother, I gotta say hello to Mom if she's watching this. My mom made the quilt while I was building the teardrop, and the pillow, there's a little pillow in there. It's got a brown bear on it. That was kind of the inspiration for the colors. And so Mom, knew that, so she made me a green quilt to match. It's 1,500 pounds. It's a touch heavier because I used all the Baltic birch. Now I say Baltic birch. The cabinets, the panels in the cabinets are Baltic birch. This is aspen, and there's a little pine in there. But what I used a white color spar urethane to paint it. That way it would kind of blend all the woods to where they look, similar to each other. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good looking camper.
Thank you. That's all I can say about it. So good luck and
So now, I have come up on this camper, taking this gentleman completely by surprise. It just so happens that the Tearjerkers are having a meet up here this weekend. He's in a teardrop, didn't even know this was taking place. So who have I run into?
I'm Dylan Sutton. I'm from Waynesville, North Carolina.
All right, good to meet you, Dylan. So you've got, as I understand, a home-built camper, and I'd love to take a tour of this thing.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Here's our cabin. Everything's 12 volts, so it runs off the truck. And then we've got underneath, I'm gonna mess the bed up, my wife will kill me. We've got extra storage under there.
Oh man, that's nice. That's a good deep storage.
Yeah. Fishing poles, boots, whatever. And back here is our galley, I guess you could call it. We're not finished, so everything's still a work in progress. So
that looks good.
We've got our ice chest that comes out and everything like that.
So how long have you been working on it?
Probably 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4
I guess.
years?
Yeah.
I don't feel bad because it took 3 years to build mine, kind of off and on.
Yeah.
So at least I know I'm not alone in that.
Yeah, right.
Do you know how much it weighs?
I do not. I've been meaning to weigh it. I just hadn't had a chance to.
So what's the overall size?
The frame is 5 by 9.
5 by 9.
Mm-hmm.
Did you make the frame?
I did. Yep.
So you know how to weld. I wish I knew how to weld.
Me and my cousin actually built it. He has a traditional style teardrop, and I wanted something a little bit more off-roadish.
So how did you get the idea to even build a teardrop?
My cousin had his, and I wanted one, so me and him came up with it and built it in his basement.
So he doesn't, till today, he didn't even, I guess, know that the Tearjerkers were even a thing.
No.
And he didn't know that Camp and Camera YouTube channel existed. So we've educated him today.
Yeah, that's
so we
right.
kind of crashed his party a little bit. So have you been anywhere cool in this camper?
Well, me and my wife got married last June, and we actually went out west on a 2-week trip. Saw Yellowstone and Tetons, and spent 2 weeks out there and had a good old time. So
now this is a guy that knows how to treat a lady.
That's right. That's right. Now I've spoiled her, and every time I go out there hunting or something, she wants to go. So.
There you go. That's all right.
Yeah.
So we did a group tour just a little bit earlier, but I wanted to double back and see a little bit more of this teardrop in person. So tell me who I've got here.
Ed Whitcomb.
Ed Whitcomb. Where are you?
Out of York, South Carolina.
York,
Lake
South.
Wiley. Yeah.
Okay. So pretty cool camper. I'm going to call it a Woody. It's a fair statement.
It's a Woody.
So he's got a Woody camper. How long did it take you to build this thing?
11 months.
11 months.
Yeah. Started in September 2013 and finished in August 2014.
And it just so happens to be cool that when I was coming down to the campsite here, I saw a bunch of antennas strewn around, and turns out that Ed is a ham radio operator just like myself, so it's a lot of sidebar conversation. So anyway, I'm going to have him take us on a real good tour of this camper.
The whole thing started, my wife and I were watching TV one Sunday afternoon, and we ran across a show that was on Extreme RVs, and they had a little 20-minute section on teardrops that I'd never heard of before. So as soon as the show got over, I was on the internet doing some research, and boy, that was a rabbit hole. I went and bought a trailer from Northern Tool. It was just a frame. There was no floor in it or anything. It's a 5x8 trailer. It was already welded, had a title and everything already. Took the internet generic plans that I found on the TNTTT site and took that same profile. So pretty much the profile is from the plans, but everything else I modified because I wanted air conditioning in here.
So now you mentioned the TNTTT website.
Right.
Now I've read a lot of people talk about that website, and they say it's a little hard to navigate, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of information there.
A lot of it. When I was researching it, that was one of the first sites I ran across.
It's like an encyclopedia of teardrop building.
And I built an insulated area behind the air conditioner, and I'm channeling the hot exhaust out through 2 vents on each side of the teardrop. I've got a switch to switch between shore power and the 12-volt battery on the front. This whole trailer, with the exception of the AC outlets and the air conditioner and the heater, if we run the heater during the winter time, is all 12-volt LED lighting.
All right, now Ed is a nice guy, but he has insulted my intelligence. He's not even said anything. No, I'm just kidding. He's put something on his camper that's like the most simple but the most ingenious thing ever was. I've been trying to find a way to keep my door from opening too far. And look at these straps. He took dog leashes and he made straps that keep the door from opening too much. That is absolutely brilliant. So that's one of the cool things about running into another DIY camper builder. So I know that there are going to be people that watch this. They're going to want to ask, where did you get this dome tent that covers the galley? Where do you pick one of these up at?
Actually, that was Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Everything comes off of Amazon.
Yeah, it's actually a Coleman.
A Coleman?
Yeah, it's
okay.
a Coleman tent, and they still have them. They don't have the yellow ones anymore. They've got, I think, green and gray.
Okay. If I could find that on there, I'll try to put a link in the description below. But like everything else in the world, check Amazon. So, Ed, I really appreciate the tour of the camper. And in the social distancing, we won't shake hands, but I'll give you an elbow bump. So appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir. What do you got going on here?
Homemade chili.
Homemade chili for the potluck.
Yes.
So tell us what you got going.
I have just 1 pound of hamburger meat. I have chili powder. I have 1 super large onion. My secret ingredient, which is celery salt.
Well, it's supposed to be a secret.
I'll give it to everybody on your channel.
All right, so
Celery salt, and then I put a little bit of extra cumin and garlic.
Okay.
And I used chili beans this time instead of regular pinto beans because I didn't cook these myself. I got them out of a can.
Okay.
And then I put another secret weapon, which is a quart of my homemade canned tomatoes.
So what she's going to do, where we're wanting to social distance, we're actually going to make what we call Frito pie cups for the potluck tonight. And we're going to take styrofoam cups and fill them up halfway with homemade chili, and then put some Frito corn chips on top of that. And we'll have those out individually where you can just grab your own and not have to, share utensils. So I think that'll be pretty good. So it's the last morning here at the Oconee State Park. We've just had a fabulous time. Listen, if you're somebody who's on the fence about building a teardrop, let me just tell you, you're really missing out. And it's not just about the campers, it's about the whole community. When you come together to an event like this, I mean, you'll run into some people that you may have seen at a previous event, but you'll run into a lot of new folks, and you come into it already sharing a common bond. And it's like you've known the people all your life. It's really cool, just the camaraderie. So listen, we got some coffee brewing on our last morning here. And by the way, in case you're wondering, this little 1-gallon propane tank that you've seen before, we filled this up a year and a half ago. We've used it quite a bit. It's still running. So I don't know how long it will last, but they'll last a pretty good while. So thanks for watching this episode. If you're looking at building a camper, get out in your shop and do so. And until next time, take care. We'll see you on the road.